Hello, 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 and welcome back for Through the Bible with Yolanda Worldwide. I hope you're enjoying this so far. Listen, if you are a replay viewer of this premiere, go ahead and leave your mark by giving me that hashtag replay in the public comments. And if you're new, make sure you go ahead and click the subscribe button right now and set up your notifications by clicking on the little bell. For those of you who are joining the premiere live, you know what to do. Number one, greet me in whatever way you do in your part of the world. Number two, let me know where in the world you're joining in from. Number three, help me by clicking the little thumbs up on the screen. Number four, help me by sharing this broadcast. And then number five, give me a hashtag through the Bible in the chat. I appreciate you for being here with me. This has been absolutely incredible. I have enjoyed reading the Bible to you. We are making our way through the book of Exodus, having already read the entirety of the book of Genesis, and we are going to read from Genesis to Revelation by the end of this year. So I'm glad you're here with me. But let's go ahead and dive on in. We stopped off, or we're picking back up at Exodus chapter 24. So I'm going to start there. Give me a little less music. And I'm going to pick up right there for today. All righty, Exodus chapter 4. And just a reminder, we are reading in the Message version. Let me make sure I got the right version on because that was slipping back and forth there for me. He said to Moses, climb the mountain to God, you and Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. They will worship from a distance. Only Moses will approach God. The rest are not to come close, and the people are not to climb the mountain at all. So Moses went to the people and told them everything God had said, all the rules and regulations. They all answered in unison, everything God said we'll do. Then Moses wrote it all down, everything God had said. He got up early the next morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain using 12 pillar stones for the 12 tribes of Israel. Then he directed young Israelite men to offer whole burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings of bulls. Moses took half the blood and put it in bowls. The other half he threw against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it as the people listened. They said, everything God said we'll do. Yes, we'll obey. Moses took the rest of the blood and threw it out over the people, saying, this is the blood of the covenant which God has made with you out of all these words I have spoken. Then they climbed the mountain, Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and saw the God of Israel. He was standing on a pavement of something like sapphires, pure, clear sky blue. He didn't hurt these pillar leaders of the Israelites. They saw God and they ate and drank. God said to Moses, climb higher up the mountain and wait there for me. I'll give you tablets of stone and teachings and commandments that I've written to instruct them. So Moses got up, accompanied by Joshua, his aide, and Moses climbed up the mountain of God. He told the elders of Israel, wait for us here until we return to you. You have Aaron and Hur with you. If there are any problems, go to them. Then Moses climbed the mountain. The cloud covered the mountain. The glory of God settled over Mount Sinai. The cloud covered it for 6 days. On the seventh day, he called out of the cloud to Moses. In the view of the Israelites below, the glory of God looked like a raging fire at the top of the mountain. Moses entered the middle of the cloud and climbed the mountain. Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Chapter 25. God spoke to Moses, tell the Israelites that they are to set aside offerings for me, receive the offerings from everyone who is willing to give. These are the offerings I want you to receive from them: gold, silver, bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet material, fine linen, goat's hair, tanned ram skins, dolphin skins, acacia wood, lamp oil, spices for anointing oils, and for fragrant incense, onyx stones, and other stones for setting in the ephod and the breastpiece. Let them construct a sanctuary for me so that I can live among them. You are to construct it following the plans I've given you, the design for the dwelling and the design for all its furnishings. The chest. First, let them make a chest using acacia wood. Make it 3 3/4 feet long and 2 1/4 feet wide and deep. Cover it with a veneer of pure gold inside and out, and make a molding of gold all around it. Cast 4 gold rings and attach them to its 4 feet, 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other. Make poles from acacia wood and cover them with a veneer of gold, and insert them into the rings on the sides of the chest for carrying the chest. The poles are to stay in the rings, they must not be removed. Place the testimony that I give you in the chest. Now make a lid of pure gold for the chest, and atonement cover 3 3/4 feet long and 2 1/4 feet wide. Sculpt 2 winged angels out of hammered gold for either end of the atonement cover, one angel at one end, one angel at the other. Make them of one piece with the atonement cover. Make the angels with their wings spread, hovering over the atonement cover, facing one another, but looking down on it. Set the atonement cover as a lid over the chest, and place in the chest the testimony that I will give you. I will meet you there at set times and speak with you from above the atonement cover and from between the angel figures that are on it, speaking the commands that I have for the Israelites. The table. Next, make a table from acacia wood. Make it 3 feet long, 1 1/2 feet wide, and 2 1/4 feet high. Cover it with a veneer of pure gold. Make a molding all around it of gold. Make a border a handbreadth wide all around it, and a rim of gold for the border. Make 4 rings of gold and attach the rings to the 4 legs parallel to the tabletop. They will serve as holders for the poles used to carry the table. Make the poles of acacia wood and cover them with a veneer of gold. They will be used to carry the table. Make plates, bowls, jars, and jugs for pouring out offerings. Make them of pure gold. Always keep fresh bread of the presence on the table before me. Make a lampstand of pure hammered gold. Make its stem and branches, cups, calyxes, and petals all of one piece. Give it 6 branches, 3 from one side and 3 from the other. Put 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with calyx and petals on one branch, 3 on the next, and so on. The same for all 6 branches on the main stem of the lampstand. Make 4 cups shaped like almonds with calyx and petals, a calyx extending from under each pair of the 6 branches. The entire lampstand fashioned from one piece of hammered pure gold. Make 7 of these lamps for the table. Arrange the lamps so they throw their light out in front. Make the candle snuffers and trays out of pure gold. Use a 25-pound brick of pure gold to make the lampstand and its accessories. Study the design you were given on the mountain and make everything accordingly. Chapter 26. Make the dwelling itself from 10 panels of tapestry woven from fine twisted linen, blue and purple and scarlet material, with an angel cherubim design. A skilled craftsman should do it. The panels of tapestry are each to be 46 feet long and 6 feet wide. Join 5 of the panels together and then the other 5 together. Make loops of blue along the edge of the outside panel of the first set and the same on the outside panel of the second set. Make 50 loops on each panel. Then make 50 gold clasps and join the tapestries together so that the dwelling is one whole. Next, make tapestries of goat hair for a tent that will cover the dwelling. Make 11 panels of these tapestries. The length of each panel will be 45 feet long and 6 feet wide. Join 5 of the panels together and then the other 6. Fold the sixth panel, double at the front of the tent. Now make 50 loops along the edge of the end panel and 50 loops along the edge of the joining panel. Make 50 clasps of bronze and connect the clasp with the loops, bringing the tent together. Hang half of the overlap of the tapestry panels over the rear of the dwelling. The 18 inches of overlap on either side will cover the sides of the tent. Finally, make a covering for the tapestries of tanned ram skin dyed red, and over that a covering of dolphin skins. Frame the dwelling with planks of acacia wood, each section of frame 15 feet long and 2¼ feet wide, with 2 pegs for securing them. Make all the frames identical, 20 frames for the south side, with 40 silver sockets to receive the 2 pegs from each of the 20 frames. The same construction on the north side of the dwelling for the rear of the dwelling, which faces west, makes 6 frames with 2 additional frames for the rear corners. Both of the 2 corner frames need to be double in thickness from top to bottom and fit into a single ring. 8 frames altogether with 16 sockets of silver, 2 under each frame. Now make crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on one side of the dwelling, 5 for the other side, and 5 for the back side facing west. The center crossbar runs from end to end halfway up the frames. Cover the frames with a veneer of gold and make gold rings to hold the crossbars and cover the crossbars with a veneer of gold. Then put the dwelling together, following the design you were shown on the mountain. Make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet material and fine twisted linen. Have a design of angel cherubim woven into it by a skilled craftsman. Fasten it with gold hooks to 4 posts of acacia wood, covered with a veneer of gold, set on 4 silver bases. After hanging the curtain from the clasp, bring the chest of the testimony in behind the curtain. The curtain will separate the holy place from the Holy of Holies. Now place the atonement cover lid on the chest of the testimony in the Holy of Holies. Place the table and the lampstand outside the curtain, and the lampstand on the south side of the dwelling, and the table opposite it on the north side. Make a screen for the door of the tent. Weave it from blue, purple, and scarlet material and fine twisted linen. Frame the weaving with 5 poles of acacia wood covered with a veneer of gold and make gold hooks to hang the weaving. Cast 5 bronze bases for the poles. Chapter 27, make an altar of acacia wood, make it 7½ feet square and 4½ feet high. Make horns at each of the 4 corners. The horns are to be of one piece with the altar and covered with a veneer of bronze. Make buckets for removing the ashes along with shovels, basins, forks, and fire pans. Make all these utensils from bronze. Make a grate of bronze mesh and attach bronze rings at each of the 4 corners. Put the grate under the ledge of the altar at the halfway point of the altar, make acacia wood poles for the altar and cover them with a veneer of bronze. Insert the poles through the rings on the two sides of the altar for carrying. Use boards to make the altar, keeping the interior hollow. Make a courtyard for the dwelling. The south side is to be 150 feet long. The hangings for the courtyard are to be woven from fine twisted linen with their 20 posts, 20 bronze bases, and fastening hooks and bands of silver. The north side is to be exactly the same. For the west end of the courtyard, you will need 75 feet of hangings with their 10 posts and bases. Across the 75 feet at the front, or east end, you will need 22 and a half feet of hangings with their 3 posts and bases on one side and the same for the other side. At the door of the courtyard, make a screen 30 feet long woven from blue, purple, and scarlet stuff with fine twisted linen, embroidered by a craftsman and hung on its 4 posts and bases. All the posts around the courtyard are to be banded with silver, with hooks of silver and bases of bronze. The courtyard is to be 150 feet long and 70 feet 5 feet wide. The hangings of fine twisted linen set on their bronze bases are to be 7.5 feet high. All the tools used for setting up the holy dwelling, including all the pegs in it and the courtyard, are to be made of bronze. Now, order the Israelites to bring you pure, clear olive oil for light so that the lamps can be kept burning. In the tent of meeting, the area outside the that curtain that veils the testimony, Aaron and his sons will keep this light burning from evening until morning before God. This is to be a permanent practice down through the generations for Israelites. Don't you just love God's attention to detail? I'm going to stop right there for today. We'll pick back up tomorrow at chapter 28. If you are missing Morning Stir, make sure you go to the Morning Stir playlist, get caught up over there. We are in day 18 of our focus fasting for visitation, and you can certainly still jump in between now and day 21. But for now, be blessed. Have an amazing, amazing day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Blessings.